Part 1. The Whispering Pines. In the deep wilds of Norwin Vale, where the mountains sleep under blankets of snow and the rivers sing songs older than time, there lived a moose unlike any other. His name was Michael Moose. Michael was large, even by moose standards. His antlers spread so wide they could shade an entire clearing, and his hooves struck the earth with a thunderous grace. But it wasn't his size that made him special, it was something older, stranger, and infinitely more powerful. The animals of the forest whispered of it. The old badger called him the Stag of Stars. The crows, with eyes like ink, said he had been born during the Moonfala rare celestial event when the twin moons of the realm aligned perfectly, casting a silver fire over all of Norwin Vale. Michael didn't pay much attention to any of that. He liked fresh birch bark, long walks through the mist, and the company of quiet things. He was a solitary creature, as most moose are, preferring the hush of snowfall to the chatter of squirrels. But Michael Moose had a secret. Every year, on the longest night of winter, he would walk to the center of the forest, where the pines grew thick and black as shadows, and there he would hear it, the whisper. The first time it happened, he had only just shed his first full antlers. He had followed a trail of glowing blue mushrooms, drawn by curiosity more than anything else. The wind didn't blow, yet the branches rustled. Then came the voice. Michael, it had said, in a tone both tender and vast, like snow falling in a cathedral. The time will come when you must choose between crown and claw. He didn't understand it then. He barely understood it now. But the whisper came every year, growing louder, more urgent, more real. Part 2. The Map and the Magpie. It was during one particularly cold morning in early Frostreach the last month before winter truly gripped the land that Michael met a magpie named Eska. She wasn't an ordinary magpie. Her feathers shimmered faintly with hints of violet and green, and her eyes were a clear blue, like the ice that formed over Silvermere Lake. She perched on a frostbitten spruce and eyed Michael with a mix of admiration and apprehension. "You're the one, aren't you?" she chirped. Michael, who had just been trying to nibble a particularly tasty twig, raised his head. "The one what?" "The moose! From the prophecy!" Michael sighed. "Not this again." Eska fluttered down and landed on his antlers, which she clearly took as a throne. "They say the antlers of the Moose King can unlock the Vault of Echoes," she said matter-of-factly, "that inside the vault lies the Heartstone, and with the Heartstone, we can stop what's coming." Michael shook his head slowly, dislodging her. "I'm not a king." "Not yet," she said with a grin, "but you will be." Against his better judgment, Michael listened as Eska explained that she had been sent by the Council of Hollow Oka's secret assembly of forest elders after interpreting a vision in the frost patterns on a fallen log. They believed the long dark was returning, a time when the sky would turn to ash and the sun would sleep beneath the earth. "It's not just a bad winter," she said. "It's a curse, an old one, the same darkness that ended the Age of Antlers." Michael chewed on this in silence. He'd heard old stories of course tales of a time when the animals of Norwin had been united, when great elk rode winds and foxes spoke fire. But those were just stories. Or so he thought. Then Eska showed him the map. It was no ordinary parchment. It was made from the leaf of a giant tree, inked with stardust and bound in twine woven by spiders from the Cave of Whispers. It showed Norwin Vale, but with lines and runes and glowing trails that shimmered only in moonlight. And at the very center of it, where the forest's heart beat slow and steady, was a single sigil, the mark of the Moose King. Part 3. The Hollow Oak Council. Michael agreed reluctantly to follow Eska to the Council of Hollow Oak. Their journey took them through the Tanglewood Thorns, past the Screaming Brook, and into the heart of the vale, where the great tree stood. The hollow oak was vast, older than any mountain, and hollowed by time and magic. Inside, dozens of creatures gathered. A blind owl named Mern, Bramble the porcupine scholar, 3 raccoon brothers who claimed to see visions in fire. The council confirmed Eska's tale. The long dark was returning. Only the Moose King could retrieve the Heartstone from the Vault of Echoes to rekindle the flame of dawn. Michael's antlers, imbued with celestial silver from his birth, were the only key. But the path to the vault lay through cursed lands, guarded by the worm of the withered fen. Michael didn't want to be a hero, but when he saw the fear in the council's eyes and the frost creeping down from the north, agreed to lead the quest. Part 4. Journey through the withered fen. Michael, Eska, and a small company set out. Bramble the porcupine, the youngest raccoon brother, Tib, and a silent lynx named Oru. The withered fen was a place of rot and mirage. Shadows moved when nothing should, and the waters whispered in forgotten tongues. They faced trials. Bramble nearly drowned in sinking muck. Oru was attacked by fenwraiths, and the wormold and black as oil rose from the marsh with eyes like dying stars. Michael battled it not with might, but memory. He called upon the whisper of the forest, the prophecy. Light flared from his antlers, revealing a truth the worm could not endure. The worm fled, banished for now. And at the fen's heart, they found the first sigil and ancient rune of the lost age. It burned into Michael's antlers, sealing the first bond of the Moose King. Part 5. Trials of the Skyreach Peaks. To reach the vault, they had to cross the Skyreach Peaks. Snow blinded them. Oru left silently one night to face a sky spirit in single combat, returning with a bleeding wound and a star-shaped mark on her paw. In a cave of echoes, they met the Frost Watcher, a bear ghost who tested Michael's will. He saw visions of himself ruling with cruelty, of a crown heavier than antlers. But Michael chose humility. He knelt before the ghost and said, "I would rather serve the forest than rule it." The ghost blessed him. Another sigil burned into his crown. Part 6. Betrayal at Ember Rock. They reached Ember Rock, an old volcanic ruin said to hold the Ember Key, the last piece needed to open the vault. But betrayal struck. Tib, the raccoon, tempted by promises from the shadow, tried to steal the key. A shadow creature known as Voryx had promised him eternal cleverness in return. Michael intervened. In the battle that followed, the Ember Key shattered. Tib realized his mistake, sacrificing himself to reforge the key in the fires of the ruin. With heavy hearts, they took the key and moved on. Eska wept silently for the little raccoon. Part 7. The Vault of Echoes. The vault was hidden beneath the shimmering glade, its doors sealed with 3 sigils: Fen, Sky, and Ember. Michael unlocked the ancient gate. Inside lay echoes of all who came before, ghosts of Moose Kings, Forest Queens, and lost dreams. The Heartstone pulsed at the center, a gem of living light. But Voryx awaited them there, stronger now, feeding on doubt. Michael stood alone against it, while his companions held back waves of shadow. In the final blow, he plunged his antlers into the ground, channeling the Heartstone's light. Voryx disintegrated, screaming, "This isn't over!" Part 8. The Long Dark Rises. Though the Heartstone was recovered, the Long Dark surged one last time. The sky wept ash, the rivers froze. Michael realized the Heartstone wasn't just a weapon, it was a seed. To end the Long Dark, he had to plant it, but doing so meant losing his antlers, and with them, his role as king. He didn't hesitate. He walked to the center of Norwin Vale, where the pines whispered his name. With Eska beside him, he planted the Heartstone. Light bloomed. The sun returned. The Long Dark broke. Part 9. A Crown Without a King. Michael shed his antlers that spring, just as the forest bloomed anew. He refused a crown. Eska told his story to every creature, every glade and grove. The forest had no ruler, now only guardians. Oru returned to the eastern highlands. Bramble became the keeper of the vault. Michael walked into the mist once more, just as he liked, visiting the pines now and then and listening to the wind. Sometimes he still heard the whisper, "Thank you." Part 10. The legend lives on. Génération passed. Young creatures heard the tale of Michael Moose, the one who chose service over power, who lit the forest when all else turned to shadow. Some say he still roams, ageless, a watcher in the woods. And on the longest night of winter, if you walk deep enough into Norwin Vale, the pines might whisper your name. And if you listen, truly listen, you might hear hooves in the snow and feel the warmth of a crown never worn.